I was born ready. Stay tuned. Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button and also subscribe to the channel for the latest, for the greatest in boxing. We working 2017. It's lit. Now, the biggest fight in boxing, on the calendars at least, is Canelo versus Golovkin. Much anticipated. Supposed to happen last year. It didn't. We're not gonna cry or complain over spilled milk because we're getting it now. And this is probably a better year in boxing in general for it to happen, just because boxing has just been lit. So let's go, man. Now, I'm looking forward to this fight, and a lot of people keep asking me who I'm picking, 7 reasons, and this is subject to change, but I'm leaning towards Canelo. And for the longest time, I was gonna pick Golovkin, but after some things I've observed in the last few fights from both, I'm leaning towards the redhead, as they call him. You know what I mean? I'm leaning towards Canelo. I really am, and I have specific reasons. I might do a 7 reasons. We'll just have to wait and see. But I think I gotta rock with Canelo on this one. And like I said, I got reason for it. So maybe I'll get time to do the 7 reasons. Now, Canelo took to his social media, and the caption was kind of weird. He says, "Do you want to take a shower?" And he's flexing on a hater, showing he's still in shape. You know what I mean? I did a video, Ego Weight Watchers video, and you guys obviously see the picture on the screen, but I did an Ego Weight Watchers video. It was like the week after the Chavez Jr. embarrassing fight, and he was in shape then too, and he was like doing like stretching and stuff, aerobics or something, and people are like, "Oh, of course he's in shape. The fight was just 2 days ago," or whatnot. So now you see this, and presumably it's a current picture. I mean, unless he's just putting up a dated picture that was in his camera roll or something, but it looks like he's in shape, and I believe he's in shape because I've noticed this about Canelo ever since the only time I seen him when he was young, after he fought Floyd Mayweather. Obviously that was probably a hard loss. He gained a lot of weight, and I even made a video about it way back then. And right before he fought Alfredo El Perro Angulo, he looked kind of pudgy. Like if you go back, do your research, and go like when they had him on the green screen, he was tubby. He had, you know what I mean, he had like a look like a soft gut and stuff like that. But ever since that moment, I feel like, and that's back in the day when he was like fatiguing in some of those fights, some of those early fights, the Mosleys and stuff, he seemed like he had major stamina issues, but he's corrected that as he's gotten older. Maybe he's seen how much money you can make in the game if you take it serious, as his stardom and maturity grew. He seemed to get that under wraps, because I haven't really seen stamina issues. Like if anything, he said he did get winded and get tired versus Chavez Jr., but of course, because Chavez wasn't really doing anything, he was pressing all the action for 12 rounds. Of course you're gonna get tired hitting a big ass dude, even though people say Chavez was weight drained and stuff like that. He's still a big dude. He's still 6'1", and whatever he rehydrated to, and you're lumping him up, throwing some smoke, and he's still there because he's tough, right? So of course he's gonna get tired. But I like what I'm seeing from Canelo. Definitely developing well, and at a rapid spot. Like, I mean, he's getting better. Ever since the Mayweather fight, he's gotten better. Speaking of, now I gotta talk about Abel Sanchez. He did an interview with On the Ropes Boxing Radio, link in the description. Now Abel is starting to talk with some sense in regards to the Canelo fight. The fight is signed and sealed. And this is so funny to me in boxing, when it comes to boxing, because you hear promoters, trainers, fighters, and they say one thing, and they say something totally different a few months ago, like after, and nothing has really changed. And I'm like, what caused the change of heart? You know what I mean? For example, Kell Brook, I did videos about it, and I cover boxing, and it's so funny because let me get a prediction wrong or something, and people are like, aha, you got one wrong, but look at how many I'm getting right. You know what I mean? And they can't wait couldn't wait for those moments. When I got Danny Garcia versus Keith Thurman, they couldn't wait for me to be wrong, right? But I still speak with sense. Like, I speak, when I'm talking Danny Garcia, I said it was going to go a decision. I thought Danny Garcia was going to win a decision. I didn't have a knockout for either fighter or multiple knockdowns. I said it's going to be a tough fight, and I was wrong. You know what I mean? Danny Garcia lost. But some of the trainers and promoter, Freddie Roach and Abel, sometimes they say stuff, and the accountability is just completely, they're not held accountable to what they said in previous interviews, and it's like befuddling. It's amazing to me. But Abel, what I'm talking about is he did the On the Ropes Boxing Radio interview, and now he's saying Golovkin may drop Canelo in the fight, but he's much improved and he will go the 12 rounds. And that's funny because that's news to me, because I remember several past interviews when the fight was just a fantasy still, right? And he was saying that Canelo was going to get stopped. And he sounded very sure of that and very confident. He was like, yeah, oh yeah, Canelo gets stopped by the 8th round. He'll be done for. The redhead done. You know what I mean? And he sounded real confident in that. But now, if you listen to this latest interview, it's just so funny to me, because as like when it gets real, then that's when you see things tone down. Example, like I said, Kell Brook, he said, I did videos about it. He said, Errol Spence, he's Jeff Lacey. Nobody's really heard of him. It's hard for me to get up for a guy like that because he basically ain't done shit, right? And then come fight week, right before the fight, when he's doing the behind the ropes, Kell Brook is saying, oh, this is my toughest fight, you know what I mean? Basically. And he's saying that Errol Spence is a talented kid. He's getting a lot of hype, and I plan to beat him. And then we seen what happened. He held a good account of himself, but ended up getting beaten to submission and basically being forced to retire and not retire from career, but retire from the fight and quit because his eye, they say he didn't want to go blind or whatever the situation was, because he was feeling that Golovkin kind of like pain or whatever in his eye, and his vision was doubled or blurry. So it is what it is, but it's weird to see like trainers and promoters, and they say one thing and then it's like suddenly changed. I'm like, what caused this radical change? For Abel's part, when it comes to Golovkin, I cover boxing, so I remember several interviews, and he sounded very confident that Golovkin would knock out Canelo, right? And I believe that Danny Jacobs' fight was a reality check for Team Golovkin. Not saying that Golovkin is not a good fighter, because he is, absolutely. He definitely has a shot to beat Canelo, because ultimately, Chavez Jr. didn't really do shit. He didn't really provide any resistance. Golovkin will not go out like that. I can assure you he will not throw punches and be weight drained or whatever was wrong with Chavez so he couldn't get off the block. That's not going to be the case. So it will be skill that wins this fight. Like the better game plan, skill, stuff like that. Defense. But it's just funny to me because it sounds like Abel Sanchez after the Danny Jacobs fight, and now now when the fight's signed, now you hear the commentary get a bit more balanced, if you will. You know what I mean? Before it's like, oh yeah, we'll knock him out for sure. Canelo, no chance. You know what I mean? Now after the Danny Jacobs fight, tough fight, went the distance. Now he's saying, oh, I can see Canelo getting knocked down, but it'll go the distance, right? Abel Sanchez says that he says, the question is, do you believe Canelo Alvarez will be the toughest opponent Golovkin has faced? He will be one of the toughest. I think that his experience in the bigger fights, as Golovkin has had, is probably a forte for both guys. They're not going to be nervous in front of a big crowd, no matter where the fight is. They're not going to be unwilling to exchange, which is what I just said, because they know what they got. I think Canelo has a lot of good attributes, very good attributes, and so does Golovkin, right? And Abel went on to say, I think the early on speed of Canelo and the combination punching that he does, but while he's punching in those combinations, he's going to get caught in between. Both guys are going to hit each other. That's a given. I think in between those punches that Canelo's throwing, eventually by the 3rd or 4th round, he will be getting caught in the middle of those and get hurt. Maybe not hurt, but getting the attention of Golovkin. I think when Canelo hits Golovkin and he can't hurt him, it'll be a totally different mindset for the corner. we as trainers are going to have to be on our P's and Q's and make sure that we have the answer for whatever the other side is doing. I think eventually past the 8th or 9th round, Golovkin will have worn him down enough to either stop him or win the last few rounds in a decision. Do you still believe Golovkin wins the fight by knockout? He says, I believe that if he stops him because he's worn him down and has hit him with some very good shots. Golovkin may drop him in the fight, but Canelo's much improved fighter and has proven that he has a decent chin and he's not going to wear out. He will go the 12 rounds throwing hard punches. He's got good conditioning, but I think the strength and constant pounding throughout the second part of the fight will be why the fight is stopped, if it is stopped. So to me, the confidence has shifted, and this makes me actually a little bit more certain with my Canelo pick, because the banter has shifted to me from Team Golovkin, or at least Abel, because I think Abel beforehand was more so like, oh, Golovkin will murder him, like, you know what I mean? Not, he didn't say that, but it was more along those lines of Golovkin's gonna bomb him out. Now it's more of a realistic commentary, like, oh, Canelo is improved. If and when he gets knocked out, it'll be because of this in the later, you know what I'm saying? So I think I'm rocking with Canelo on this one. Like I said, it's subject to change. Maybe I have to wait and see. Like I said, maybe I'll do the 7 reasons, but I think I'm rocking with Canelo, man. He's young. Well, and actually, I'm not gonna give away what like my 7 reasons in case I do it. You know what I mean? But it was a good interview on the ropes. Boxing Radio, shout out to them. Shout out to Abel Sanchez for giving his honest commentary regarding this fight. But we'll see. September 16th, I'm looking forward to it. Canelo looks like he's still in shape. He says it's mi era. It's his time. We'll see whose era it is. September 16th. No, they do not have the venue announced to the public. Stop asking me. People keep asking me, oh, Ego, where can we get tickets? You can't get tickets to a fight that has not been confirmed. Like, how are you going to sell tickets and we don't even know where the fight is as a public? You know what I mean? Like, hey, here, buy your tickets. Like, what if you live in New York and the fight's in Vegas? You know what I mean? How are you going to sell tickets to a fight you don't even know where it's at? So that has not been confirmed from Golden Boy or K2 Promotions. So we have to wait. But I like this early, like, back and forth. To me, it's just funny how opinions shift and change. Like, for me, I'm an Aries. I'm stubborn. I will admit that. But something has to happen in order to change my opinion generally, right? Like, somebody either brings up a point that I maybe didn't think of, but I'm not gonna say that never happens, but a lot of times when I come to a conclusion, it's because I've computed the data and I have thought about various scenarios, you know what I mean? But that can happen. Someone maybe influences or persuades me to see a different side. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Or I physically, with my own 2 eyes, see something that makes it change, and I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, for example, I told people Terrence Crawford, he's a star in the making and he's gonna be hard to beat, right? I said this years ago, right? The videos are still up, right? I said this years ago. Before he fought Bradis Prescott, I said this. Made a video. I'm like, this dude is talented. Y'all gotta check for him. So my opinion has not changed over the course of several years. You know what I mean? And again, for an example like that, the only time it would change is if I seen Terrence Crawford and he was constantly regressing and looking worse or something. You know what I mean? Then I'm like, okay, maybe this dude is not next. But generally, my opinion stays pretty consistent unless I see something dramatic. You know what I mean? And to me, it's kind of hard to bet against Canelo at this point, to be honest. But you guys let me know. It's a 50-50 fight on paper. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.